Welcome to Quantum Quest Conversations. I'm your host, Meghan.
And I'm your host, Haydee.
The podcast where curious conversations lead the way into awakening, growth, and infinite discovery. Whether you're just beginning your quest or deep in your awakening, you'll find inspiration through stories, lessons, and personal experience. Settle in, open your heart, and let curiosity lead the way. So today we are going to interview Haydee. She is one of our hosts, and we are going to hear her backstory. To give our audience a little bit of background, Haydee and I actually have never met in person, so we really don't know our backstories. We just know a little bit about each other. We met through a mediumship class. So I am so curious to learn how you ended up in a mediumship course. What path led you to where you are today?
My goodness, the decisive reason why I ended up in a mediumship class was because my mom passed away 2.5 years ago. And I always since I was a child, been drawn to the esoteric and the mystical and, all of that. I always been drawn to it. I think it was since I even knew, but I like to play. Like I always knew there was something else. And that's, I discovered because my grandmother was a healer in her town. And my mother was very psychic, like the kind of psychic that can move objects.
Oh, wow.
And that was very intriguing. And yeah, I guess I started studying a little bit of mediumship, but that was out of curiosity. But when I decided to start the year-long program where we both are, that's the reason why, because my mom passed.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that your mom passed. I know that's really hard. I feel like you just kind of dabbled over the fact that your grandmother was a healer and your mom was able to like move objects. Can you go more into detail about that? I'm just curious, like, so that was just kind of the norm for you. Like, because to me, this
Yeah,
is not the norm. Like this, and I'll tell my story later, but like, and for our audience, like that would seem crazy.
I know. And it was crazy. Well, it wasn't crazy, but it was on the hush hush. My grandma would, so her house was a very colonial style. So where there's a big patio, like there's houses and villas where there's a big patio in the middle, and then the houses around the patio and the garden. And so that was my grandma's house style. And so sometimes we would be in the living room or in her kitchen talking, and all of a sudden, the lady that worked in her house will call her, and she will just disappear quietly. And we will see some people from her town just go into her dining room if we weren't there. And they would bring babies, and they would bring, I don't know, I remember my most vivid one was about a 2-year-old kid that entered in her dining room, followed by another 3 people. I think it was grandma, mom, and it was all ladies. And after that, 20 minutes went by and the door opened and the people were just so grateful.
Mm-hmm.
What did my grandma do? I have no idea. But people will come to the house and she wouldn't charge a penny. And so what they will bring to say thank you to my grandma for helping, well, they will bring bags full of vegetables and fruits and, just out of gratitude. And so that was interesting to watch. And I will ask my mom, and she wouldn't go into detail.
Mm.
Yeah. And I have asked some of my uncles and aunts, and they don't go in detail either. I don't even know if they all know what she was really doing, but I know for a fact that I have an uncle that's very psychic as well. And my mom. My mom was mind blowing because she could. There was one time where there was this Beetle parked, a Volkswagen Beetle parked in a parking lot, and it was like it was a blue one, I remember. And my mom just said to my dad, "Do you want me to move that car?" We were all like, my mom's crazy. I
Yeah.
remember those were one of the first things I saw. And my mom actually she would always stare at the whatever object she wanted to move, and she would just look at it. And all of a sudden, just her face changed, and the object started moving, and the car moved. And my dad, very skeptic, went checked the car, and he had the the brake on. It
Wow.
was on, and my mom moved the car. And there was very different instances like that. And so we grew up scared of my mom because she
Oh,
one look and she
I
would know what
bet.
where you were, what you were hiding, everything to details. So that was kind of I want to say it was exciting, but it was not the best thing to grow.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine you as a kid you'd be not getting away with anything.
No, nothing. No, my father couldn't either. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So why do you think your mom didn't really want to talk about it? She clearly felt, I guess, comfortable enough to do things in front of you, but then not really wanting to talk about it.
Well, I think that's where the religion fact will enter.
Okay.
Because so my dad, I mean, there was times he was skeptic because he didn't believe that my mom would know specifics, but then he couldn't deny it. So
Right.
he will come for her for advice or
Hmm.
ask her about future events, and it will happen the way my mom would say it.
Hmm.
So it was like, I think he was kind of confused in between what religion said and what reality was, because my mom was a very kind, generous person. She was always happy, always singing or dancing, like, so she was a very happy person. She had a lot of friends that really appreciated her. So she was not mean-spirited. So I guess my dad knew it wasn't a bad thing. But it was a religion. My grandma, from my dad's side, she was very religious, rosary in hand, And so I think throughout the years, my mom, and she could channel too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they would wake her up, in the middle of the night and give her messages. And yeah, I think as time went on, my oldest brother, started going to a Christian church. And he also started telling my mom that that wasn't a good thing, that it was the devil, that it was just bad spirits. And so my mom, I think towards the end, she started second guessing a lot, and she started praying for God to just take it away from her. And also she started ignoring her spirit guides whenever they came to give advice. So it's sad. It's sad because, I don't think that God make any mistakes. I think he's all perfection and love, and he's not going to do something that he's not okay with to one of his children. So I don't think my mom had a bad thing. It was a gift. And
Yes,
it should have
definitely.
been seen and appreciated as one instead of being seen as something bad. Just because you don't have it, you don't understand it.
Right.
Therefore, it's a bad thing.
Right. So I feel like I already know the answer to this, but do you think your mom is proud watching you speak out about this, like spirituality?
I think so. I think she's happy that I'm breaking the secret, the family secret. It
Yes.
is okay to be you, It is okay. And I'm not gonna say that I'm here 100% free of fear, because
Hmm.
I'm still doubtful of what is my husband's family gonna say when they finally discover that, or
Yes.
what is my brother gonna say, that his sister is doing this. But at the same time, I'm doing it because I want to help other people. wanna like I think I lean more towards the healing. Um and so I think that I feel that it is okay. And
Yeah.
I have prayed to God, if you don't like it, take it. But here I am still with it. So
Can you explain a little bit about like the healing? What does that mean to like be a healer? You said like your grandma was a healer and that you're saying that you're kind of leaning more towards like healing. Can you just describe, I guess, for our audience, like what that means?
yeah, so I've been very empathic since I was very little too. Like I didn't want it to see people crying or suffering. And later on, I started discovering that I couldn't watch just any movie because if, say, there was a woman being abused, oh my goodness, I will feel it like it was reality.
Yeah.
And so I started feeling bad for like other people suffering. I didn't want people to, I don't know, I just felt it in my heart as if it was real, if it was a movie, or if it was mine, if I was seeing it, someone else suffering, you
Hmm.
know? And so I decided I heard the word Reiki and I got curious about it.
Hmm.
And I started seeing and so watching some YouTube videos about Reiki, and I decided to take Reiki classes. And I loved it so much. Just, how you feel the person, how with only your hands you can tell where the person is having an issue or
Hmm.
how they're feeling, or, just putting some bright light in their heart so they feel better. It's just such a beautiful thing. And so I took Reiki 1, 2, and then I finished with Reiki Master teacher.
Wow, that's amazing. Um, so you mentioned that you got into the mediumship course after your mom passed away. So what was your, I guess, goal or intention? Was it to connect with your mom, or was it like because that just kind of opened up that you're ready for this lifestyle, or what was it?
Well, my mom always used to tell us when I pass to the other side, pay attention to the mirrors because I'm going to be there and I will say hi to you. And I remember
Aw.
always telling her, no, 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 don't do that because that's so scary. So when she finally passed, I regret that. I regretted that because
Aw.
I was trying to see from any corner of the mirror if she was there and she wasn't. And so I wanted to see if I could communicate with her.
So I'm getting chills just real fast on that. That I think it was meaning in a different way is it more like she's within you. Like, and I think you probably learned that within like the mediumship course and be able to uh talk to spirits. But I think when she says, you'll see me in the mirror, I'm just getting this feeling that it might not be what we would think of like in a movie where we just see like a ghost in a in a mirror and like we're haunted and scared. I think she was meaning it in a different way, but
And
that just kind of came through and I felt like Sharon.
you know what? It just gave me the chills what you said too. So we were both with the chills because
Okay.
I remember one time I was very sad in front of my vanity and just staring at my face, and that thought came to me.
Chills are
Still
just
here
coming back
because
to me now. So we're both getting this validation. For anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, and spirit is letting us know that like we're right. Our bodies just get like chills, like goosebumps all over. So that's what we're referring to.
yeah.
It's our confirmation. Oh boy, do I love it.
Yeah. And so that was the reason why I decided to take these classes. Taking classes with the Arthur Findlay College in England. I've taken classes with Cindy Casa. I have taken like 3 classes with Suzanne Gisman, and now the one that she has with Mavis Patilla and the Shift Network. And it's very interesting.
Yeah. So that's a lot. So that's all been since your mom passed away like 2 years ago, you're saying that you've taken
Yeah.
all that. So you did you sound like me. It was just like, how much information can I soak in?
Yeah.
So you did Reiki, you did all these different
I know
mediumship.
the Reiki I did do it before
Oh, okay.
my mom passed. And she knew about it and she liked it. Did she really believe it? It was weird because I think in that sense we both are the same. Like I am an open-minded skeptic, and so is my mom. And so
Yeah.
despite the fact that you see all these things, you still like, you know, you can't believe everything because there's also so many charlatans and people that take advantage of other people. You cannot just believe everything you hear or see.
Yeah. So have you talked to your mom since you've done the mediumship course? Like, have you kind of, maybe you haven't seen her in the mirror per se, but have you gotten messages from her directly or from anybody else being able to bring her through?
Yes, I have had three instances in which you were one.
Oh, yeah.
Have brought my mom, and the messages are very encouraging. And the funny, well, I'll say funny part, but it's like the undeniable fact that it was hers because you were able to describe her personality. And, you know, who's going to know how she was, you know?
Yeah.
You never met her or anything like that. And it's true. She was always like very nicely dressed and to the nines. And she
Hmm.
was always happy and she was witty and silly and, you know, and
Yeah.
so, and you did that. And so I'm very, very grateful. And yeah, according to the messages, she's proud and she's happy that I'm doing what I'm doing. And so
Oh,
that gives me a lot of joy.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is, I mean, now that you say it, like I'm recalling that I brought your mom through, but it really goes like when you do mediumship, it's you really don't like remember a lot, or at least I don't. Like I don't like remember every single reading that I do. Like it will be vague to me, like, oh yeah, 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 I think I did a reading for you, or oh yeah, I think I brought somebody through. I think it would be a lot to like try to keep all every single message in, but yeah, I didn't. That wasn't a setup. I didn't like ask you just to be like to my own horn. I really I forgot that I brought her through, but you just reminded me. Well, there's something else that you haven't mentioned. You are an author of a children's book, right?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about that? Because that has to do with kind of teaching kids about like spirituality, or if you can explain it, better than I can.
Yeah. So when I was 5 years old, I had a dream where I was told that I had to write a book.
Hmm.
And then I had several dreams actually in which because I don't act upon it, I don't know if you've heard that sometimes there's an idea, but there's that idea, there's different people that can tap into it, and whoever grabs it, that's who,
I
like,
did hear that, yes.
yeah. And so, I I had the exact same idea of the like, believe it or not, I don't want to sound weird, but it's true.
This whole point of this podcast is for us to all sound weird. Every episode, we're gonna sound weird to somebody. No
Yeah.
worries.
So I had the plot of the girl in the what is the book that in the with the tattoo, the dragon tattoo. What's
Kill
this
two
book about?
dragons or something, or
No,
no, I don't know.
there's a girl with the, the
The,
tattoo. I
oh, the
can't.
dragon tattoo.
Yes,
Okay,
and
okay, yeah.
so the same plot. And then I had the same plot also when I was 12 for the story of that Disney movie where the princess come out of the story land, and then she's a princess and the princess come, and you know instead of like all the storybook characters come to life, and they fall in love with human. She falls in love with a human. I don't know. It ends up being a mix with fantasy. I just don't want to say the name of the movie because I don't know if we're supposed to. But there's a merge of the fantasy and the reality. I dream about that when I was like I was saying like around 12. But for me, the name of the book was supposed to be it was Raggy Maggie.
Mm.
And it was about this princess from, storybooks that comes to reality and she falls in love with a guy. And
Yeah.
so it was just, so things like that. And so these books that I'm writing, long story, is about a character I dreamt that was, his name was Bunky Boo in the book. Mind you, all these names back then, I didn't speak a word of English, and
Okay.
all the names were coming to me in English.
Wow.
And so that I just cannot understand how or why that happened because there's not like we weren't watching like American shows or nothing like that. So
Yeah.
everything was Spanish. And so I ended up finally writing it because I felt like I had to do it. I just changed the name of the character. That is a little spirit of light that shares his love to others and teaches. It's a spiritual teacher for little children that changes colors according to his. I will say it's inspired by the chakras. It it all how he feels or the child feels, and so yeah, I think that his name is Navi, Navi, and that means a spirit, a light spirit or a guide. And so I like the name, and so I kept it.
Yeah. So tell everybody where they can buy this book. What's the full name of the book?
So it's the Navi and the Heartlight Glow and Navi Potty Parade, and you can find them on Amazon.
Nice.
Thank you for that.
That's what, hey, we're going to incorporate everything.
Yeah. But now I'm writing another book too, but this is more like for adults. It's about a woman that goes. She's going. I don't think I should say it, but so about a woman that her reality is shifting. So all my inspiration comes from quantum realities and possibilities and how one of your choices can change your whole life, and
Oh,
there's
yeah.
different possibilities. So it's very interesting.
Why don't you go more into that? So you're the one that came up with the name of our podcast, Quantum Quest. Why don't you, and you just were talking about like quantum realities. For those out there that aren't really familiar with that word, can you explain it and like what this podcast even like means, like the name of it to you?
Yes. So quantum is like pretty much in very easy words is all the things that we cannot see, and so that's what I've been always attracted to. Like there's so many things that you just don't understand how these things can be possibilities, but it came. So I was meditating and it came through like a download. So a download, what it is, I'm sure a lot of people know, it's like little packs, I call them, of information that just come to your head in a second and then they expand and you have a lot of information just within a microsecond.
Mhm.
And so I was meditating, I remember, and I was not thinking about anything. And Quantum Quest came to my head. And so I'm like, okay, so that's what I'm supposed to do. And then I also knew that our logo should be an infinite symbol
Mhm.
formed by the two Qs. And so actually I really cannot take any credit for it because it was given to me. And so and so that's what we did.
And what, again, I think our audience, we may have new people that aren't, that familiar with spirituality or a lot of this. So when you say that, it wasn't yours, it was given to you, You want to elaborate on that? I mean, I know what you mean by that.
Mhm.
Gave it to you.
So when my mom used to like tell us how she was channeling information, we really didn't understand it. I never understood it. I just would get curious and I thought it was fascinating. But I remember maybe 5 years before my mom passed, I started waking up at 3 in the morning or 2:40. No, it was 3:45 sometimes, like 3:45. And it was the exact same time. And I will sit and I felt compelled, like almost like I could not refuse it, the need to grab pen and paper. And so I started writing a lot of messages, a lot of like, and that's what we call channeling. I
Hmm.
was just getting information and it was mind blowing because I couldn't even think about it. So it's not like I was imagining or giving it time to think about it or I'm
Yeah.
too creative. It wasn't like that because it was message after message after message and I wasn't given the time to think about it until after the fact. And so I would write it down with the lights off because I didn't want to wake my husband up. And
Yeah.
so I would just, it was kind of like all crooked. The lines were all crooked, but the message was there. And then when I had the opportunity to read it, I was mind blown.
Hmm.
And then I discovered that I could ask questions and the answers could come immediately. And that to me has been very fascinating, very mind blowing. And so how does that happen? Do that I just don't know. I have no explanation. I just know it does happen.
Yeah. So you said that you can ask questions. So once you wake up, you're saying that you could read the notes that you did like half asleep, and then you don't have to wait till you go like kind of back to sleep and it's, that 3:45 in the morning. You can wake up, see your notes, and then just kind of ask spirit.
Yeah, then after that I tried. I think it was like 2 years down the road. I started thinking, will that work if I started doing it while I am fully awake? And so what I do is I sit down, I start breathing. I don't know if you're familiar with the Wim Hof method. It's like you start breathing in and just holding your breath, and it's a little process. It's about 5 minutes,
Say
but
it. What's it called again? I'm actually
the
not
Wim
familiar.
Hof method.
Oh, look it up.
It's about, have you ever heard about this guy that he gets himself in a big tub of ice?
Mm-mm, no.
No, and he can defy, like he can swim in like almost frozen, like in the ocean, and he
Uh,
like he
I
is.
I think yeah, I've heard of people that
Yeah,
do that.
and so yeah, so he has a like a breathing method. You can look it up on YouTube, and it's really good for beginning meditators. And so that's one thing I started to do when I started meditating. And so I started doing that during the day. And so I would calm myself down and then I would ask questions. But not questions, selfish questions, about me, the future, my children. No, it was more about, the universe and about love, about, different things that are farther greater than what we are.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
got these beautiful answers. And so I started copying in a different notebook with like nicer handwriting and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I collected there everything that I have received.
So it sounds like a third book is coming.
Maybe. Yeah.
So what would you say is like the most, I don't know, like profound thing that you like a message that's come through or something that just has stuck with you? Is there any channeling message that you got that you're just like,
There
oh,
was one I received, and I don't want to quote it, but it was something like, why is it that people blame God about all the things, all the bad things that happen in the world?
wow.
And I received the message that everybody needs scapegoat.
Yeah.
uh to blame it to someone, but you know, everybody has the choice to do what they want out of love.
Yes.
You receive that choice. And so we are loved so deeply that God has nothing but give us the choice, and what we choose can endanger some people or can benefit some people. So unfortunately, there's a lot of evil in this world. And who is to blame? Oh, God. God
Yep.
is to blame. But it's not, the reality is not like that. But I know these might be harsh words for people that have been struggling with illnesses that they didn't look for. And it could be about someone that could have been abused, and it sounds very unfair.
Yeah.
But the reality is that there is evil, and you can always choose what to do, you
Yeah.
know.
So do you know who's giving you these messages? Like, is there a certain spirit or is it different ones? Do you know?
Well, I started having one, and now I have seven.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they look, it's kind at the beginning it was difficult for me to explain them, but they're very, very long. I want to say it's not tall, but I feel like they're more like elongated.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, they look kind of human, but they really are not, because they're so light and full of light and almost iridescent. And there's like different colors emanating from them, but they're mostly white.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so much love and wisdom that comes from them. And I honestly don't know what I've done to deserve to hear messages like that. I don't think I'm the purest soul ever. I'm just a regular human being. I make my mistakes, I'm growing with them. Um, but it is a beautiful thing. And I think we all can do that if we just open and want to receive it. I don't
Right.
think you gotta be special to do it. I think you just want to have that thirst to be connected, or the wheel.
Right. Well, I think you just saying all that tells us exactly why you are blessed with this gift. You're so humble. You're humble and, so down to earth. And I think you just are so grateful, for all the messages and, you have a kind soul. And I think everybody has the opportunity to get messages and, do things that we do. I think some people like to stay in the negativity and, blame it on God, just kind of like that message said. And sometimes you just want to be like, shake them upside the head and be like, I promise, like, just have a bigger heart. You could do all this too. You could get these messages. Like we are all surrounded, by love, and we can all get these messages. We just have to be willing to listen, and hear it. So that is so cool. Do you know any of the seven names of the different spirits, or you just know there's seven and like different personalities, or like how is it?
Yeah, they have different personalities, and I've been told that they're different for different like areas of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so let me see if I have it. I have not memorized them, but I remember, and don't laugh, but I didn't, I wanted to see if that was real. So I put the names on ChatGPT, and I was like, is this name real? Does this mean something? And they all meant something.
Wow.
Yeah, and there were words in Hebrew.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, well, I don't know any Hebrew, so it was very amazing. I don't have you put me on the spot. I don't
Oh, you
remember.
don't have, if you don't know, I was just curious. I was,
I know one, which is the oldest one, because I just received them like 2 weeks ago. No, that's a lie. Like 3 weeks ago, all of the seven. But I know the oldest one. Her name is Cordelia, and for
oh,
me, that was weird because I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why, but I get a lot of names that are more like old, or
Mhm.
in English, why, I don't know. I should be getting a name like Maria, which,
Yeah.
but I don't. And that's because I have done some past life regressions. I know for sure I was this guy that lived in England and moved here to the States.
Wow.
And when I researched the name given to me in that regression, he really did existed with everything that I saw. And he moved to a place called Pleasant Grove in California.
Um,
And I live now in Pleasant Grove Road.
wow.
Yeah. So I think that maybe their names, because you can have some people that you met as guides because that's what they are.
Yeah.
And so probably, but I don't know. I'm still waiting for a precise answer, but I'm gonna stay like that, I guess.
Yeah. So, did you always believe in past lives, or is it something like more recent that you believed in it?
I came with like a knowing because I
Hmm.
remember when I was little, I knew about, nobody told me about past lives,
Yeah.
you know. But as I grew up and I went to church, I learned that no, there's no such a thing, you know.
Mm.
And so I always had this need to be close to God. And so, but not the religious God. I I even went through phases in my life in which I went to different religions because I wanted to see what is that about. But at the same thing, my dad was upset at me because he thought, oh, you're gonna get confused. You're not gonna be a Catholic anymore. But the reality is, if something, I took the best out of each one and fell in love with God even more. But
Yeah.
not, like I said, not the religious God, but the creator,
Hmm.
the giver, the all love and all beauty. That's the God I believe in.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I stopped believing in religions, but that doesn't mean I don't love my creator, the architect, like we call him. So yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. I think that, that's something we're probably going to get more into and have a lot of conversations about with the more
Mhm.
people that we talk to because yeah, like spirituality and religion, it's just it, it's hard. It's a hard thing 'cause to me. I'm like, I know I believe in God. Like there, just like you said, like there is a creator. There is like I feel so close to him. I am talking like to these spirits that have come through. I'm like getting beautiful, like loving messages. Like, how could anybody accuse me of, not like going against, the religion or like it makes me, not believe in God or something. It's like, no, that's so far from the truth. It's just a different viewpoint.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
um, so do you do anything to help keep you grounded, like with
I
your
do.
daily practices?
I do meditate, and I even like when I feel very distressed, I grab I have an onyx crystal, but it's kind of like the size of my palm.
Mm-hmm.
It does help a lot. But breathing, breathing, because there's been very challenging times in which I'm not gonna lie, all spirituality and everything, it's just difficult sometimes because we're human beings and we can cry and we can be sad and we can just be disappointed and it's hard, but that's where spirituality is there. And I'm not gonna lie, there's been times in which I have to remind myself my beliefs, what I'm doing here, why everything that I've learned. And it's sad because there's very few times in which you just succumb to being human,
Yeah.
you know. But that's what I do. I pray a lot. I do love For me, prayer is not about asking, but it's about gratitude and just feeling that love in your heart where you're just a little tiny drop in his ocean, yet you're the whole ocean and you're surrounded and protected and never alone. And it's just, so to me, prayer is feeling that love and it's magnificent.
That is beautifully said. So, is there anything else that you want the world to know about you and just the path that's led you to this podcast?
That's funny because we were having this conversation and I used to want to have my own podcast too about the name was going to be Weinsteins because my husband, he was an alcoholic for 13 years. And I wanted to talk about, you know, the struggles of being married with an alcoholic. And it didn't happen. And you wanted to have your own podcast and it didn't happen. And so one day we were just texting and I just blurted out, let's have our own podcast. And you were like, you know, it was just divine timing.
Yeah.
It was divine timing. It was supposed to be. So I'm very happy, very blessed, very grateful to you for accepting.
Oh,
ever since I saw you the first time in the Zoom class, I felt compelled to talk to you because you're just such a happy soul and sweet and genuine. And I love that. And so, yeah, thank you so much for having me as your co-host.
Yeah, well, thank you for just randomly texting me, do I want to start a podcast? I don't know if you knew that my answer was just going to be like an immediate yes. Other people are probably like, wait, what? Where did that come from? No, it was meant to be. And I think, you know, more of our stories will, you know, come out as this podcast continues. But man, divine intervention. I mean, there's no doubt about it that, you know, God steps in, spirit, the universe, whatever people want to think and whatever terminology they want to use. But there are strings being pulled behind the scenes and they nothing but love and support and help and, you know, little nudges, big nudges to get us to where we need to be. And I am so grateful for you, Haydee, and that we were able to start this podcast and use our voice to hopefully teach others and let them have an open mind and learn as much as we are learning each day.
Yeah, and I would love for everybody to know that we are not here to teach. We're just in the same journey as everybody else. We are discovering life. We just want to, I guess our goal is to surround everybody with the love and to see that there's more things that we are actually told in school or that we know. There's more to it. We're souls having a human experience, not the other way around.
Right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. We really appreciate it. And until the next episode.
This episode is dedicated to my mom, who passed away March 23rd, 2023. My ears can't hear you, but my heart does. My eyes can't find you, yet I know for sure you're here with me. Thank you so much for being part of today's Quantum Quest. We hope this conversation awakens something new within you, a spark, a question, a remembering. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, keep exploring with an open mind and an open heart. Bye for now.